$6 footlongs at Subway are here. The nation will never be the same. I'm Kent Gold, overreacting the news. That's right. All your favorite classic footlongs from Subway, like the Subway Club and Steak and Cheese, are now just $6 each all February long. Don't miss out on what my colleagues and I are for no good reason calling Submageddon. $6 classic footlongs at Subway won't last forever. Classic refers to a regular price Subway sandwich, excludes deluxe footlongs at participating restaurants only. Additional charge for extras plus tax. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii, may not be combined with other offers.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Author's Corner. I'm the host of the show, Neil Haley. You can go to my website, Tolter.net, for more information. Twitter, Tolter, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Tolter, Pinterest, Neil Haley, Google Plus, and also on Periscope at Total Tutor. And I'm excited to welcome to the program author and life coach Mike Gellman. Mike, thanks for calling, and thanks for being on the show.
Hi, Neil. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, Mike. Let's get into a little bit of your background on how you became a life coach. Tell us that story.
Sure. I have to say that when I was in graduate school, I had an opportunity to work at a one-stop career center. Had all types of career services for the public, and I had this one woman, for example, that was a housewife who was widowed and hadn't worked her whole life, really, in her view, and didn't feel she had anything to offer or any skills. And after working with her for a while, I discovered, she had a lot of skills, and she managed the finances for the family. She managed,
right.
The renovation projects, things of that nature. So she was like basically the CEO of her own home, and worked with factory workers that were laid off. A tool and die worker as well. It's like that's the only thing I know how to do. But those factories were going away, and said all I know how to do is make those widgets. So. After working with them, it's amazing the transformation that took place with both of them to realize they had all these transferable skills that could be applied for other disciplines. And so that was the beginning of it for me. That turned me on, and I was teaching some courses as well on how to, search for jobs, how to find your passion, things of that nature. And from that point on, coaching and helping people reach their potential has been a part of my life.
Quite interesting, because when you think about that, Mike, you think about specifically once you make a difference with somebody, when you're able to make that difference you see that you've helped shape somebody's life, educationally, life-wise, career-wise, whatever, help. It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of us take our gifts for granted. And I love working with people to help them discover the gifts that they have, and to find a place to use them.
Okay, so let's so you decided, after that, you said this is something I have to do. So how did you go about becoming a life coach? Tell us how that specifically worked out. Yeah.
So from that point on, I went and I became internal consultant, if you will, for the San Diego Zoo, and not your obvious place to go, but I was helping to build teams. I was helping leaders become more effective leaders in terms of coaching and training and facilitating change within organizations. And so I did some coaching, but it was always kind of part of my job, not the majority of it. And so for me, actually more career coaching is even mostly my passion. And so, I moved on from there to, Fortune 500, some nonprofit organizations, and now with a Fortune 500 company. And I was able to establish a career coaching and development center for employees. And so, I got some extra trainings on coaching and worked away at it. And so, it's I've kind of taken a path, and I've taken some detours in my own career as well. And, I apply that with the coaching that I do with clients.
Yeah, so you talked about stuck in a career. That's one of your major focuses and stuff. So we'll talk about your book in a second. But why do you think that people do get stuck in their career? Why do you think that they just don't like going to work every day? What do you think it is? It's very hard for me to look back to the days when I had to go wake up and go to school and teach, to now where I have an adventure every day, Mike.
Yeah.
And that adventure I can't even put out in social media, meaning I don't have time. I need to hire somebody just to plan my day to what I did so that I could let people know how amazing my life is. So I can't imagine that. So these people, why do you think they're stuck in those things? Do you think that they just settled at one point in time? You know, how some people just settle for a relationship or settle for, what career they choose, things like that. It's a lot about settling, isn't it?
Certainly part of it can be settling. Sometimes people think, it's too late to make a change. A lot of times it's fear of change, quite honestly. Fear of change or resistance to change. And a lot of times they're just not clear on what they want, right? Having that compelling vision for themselves on what their life could be like, and finding ways to live into it and taking the action that will help get them there. And so the fear is often a big part of it. And also because it's uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. If I'm not happy, right, and I'm feeling stuck and I know I want something different, well, number one, if I don't know exactly what it is I want, that's certainly an obstacle there. I'm going to be less likely to make a change because there's uncertainty. But even if I know what I want, there's obstacles along the way. Some of them are self-imposed obstacles, our own resistance that we have, or fears that we have to change. And other times we run into things from other people, things we've been told from a young age even, you'll never amount to anything, or you should be this or you should be that. And we start to internalize it, and we oftentimes don't think of ourselves in a different light or believe in it, have that faith. So, when people feel stuck, a lot of times I kind of explore help them get clear on what they want and help uncover, what's it going to take to make this change, what has to happen. And sometimes there's things that they have to let go of. In terms of, what they're going to lose out on in order to gain what they want.
Right, exactly. It's what are you going to lose out on? What's going to happen? And so let's kind of go into these steps. When people are looking at a transformation in their life, your book, again, Pipe Dreams, 7 Pipelines of Career Success. Describe for us that success is how to go about doing that, especially kind of reclaiming your purpose in life.
Sure. So, at the core, I have a motto in there. I can cover parts of it certainly, but at the core is, purpose and passion, right? Which drives feeds into everything, and discovering kind of what your strengths are. What you love to do, what are the things you naturally do anyway? What do you draw? So, if you love to analyze data, or you love to teach people, or whatever it may be, what is it that you tend to be drawn to? And so, purpose and passion are certainly at the core. I had a client, for example, at one point that came to me who was really frustrated with her boss. She wanted to get a promotion or kind of a new opportunity, and really angry with her, shopping her around enough, basically. And so I was talking with her, and I was asking her, so if your boss were to get you a job, what would you want? She said, well, I don't know. I said, well, if she got you a job in marketing, how would that be? She said, well, I wouldn't like that. Well, what about in facilities as a logistics coordinator? No, I wouldn't like that either. So this went on for a little bit. And it became crystal clear that how is her boss going to help her if she doesn't even know what she wants, right? She just knew that she didn't like what she was currently doing any longer. She'd been doing it a long time and, was successful at it, but was ready for a change. She just didn't know what she wanted to change to, and, it just felt demoralized. So then once I started working with her a bit, she did get clear on what she wanted, but that wasn't all of it. It was kind of looking at her personality, looking at, her attitude, which is, part of the motto is you're looking at your performance, also includes your attitude, that positive mindset, having positive energy there. So we uncovered some of her fears. She was afraid to change. She was afraid that maybe the new job wouldn't give her the flexibility as her current job did. She was afraid that she might not do as well in the new job. All of these things. So, ultimately, her boss did create an opportunity for her to swap with another employee in another department, and it was a kind of a win-win, and she turned it down. And and it was out of that fear. And so, in working with people, I have to look at the whole person and see, not only what are they passionate about, but also, looking at, some of the things that they value, right? She valued flexibility. She valued variety. So that's another filter to look at when you're searching for another opportunity or pursuing it, is your principles or values, that you hold dear, that really drive a lot of your behavior and will, potentially can keep you stuck if there's a misalignment, or they can really propel you forward, and not just in careers, but in life. How do you live your life as well outside of work, and your relationships with your family members or wherever you may be at the time.
Definitely. So sometimes when you're talking about this, and this is a lot of times people's success is lost at times when they are more thinking about the now than later, it sounds like. Am I correct, Mike, that they're focusing more on situation than what could be?
Yeah, it's easy to do that, and so, when you have something that, you see kind of what can be, right? You have this,
right.
Maybe, think about it. Like if you, I don't know if you like to travel, but if you're like, hey, I've always wanted to go to Australia, hop around with kangaroos and stuff, whatever. You get that image in your mind, right? It's powerful. I would love to go to Australia. You kind of lock into that. Then it becomes, okay, how do I get myself there? And there's a lot of ways to get there. And how you get there is kind of the route you take is really up to you and for you to decide and kind of plan out. Are you going to fly there? Are you going to sail there? Are you going to, there's all kinds of options. And so, with our careers or our life, it's kind of looking at how do we want to be experiencing our life. That's what it comes down to. How do we want to be experiencing our life? And it's easy, like you said, if we're just focused on our current situation, you can't see the forest through the trees type of thing.
They want to stay the course, then move forward. Meaning, Mike, that a lot of times they look at the present, and focus on the past, and don't look towards the future. Don't look, if I put this effort in now, here's my result later. And the more I don't focus on the present, meaning what's going on wrong in my life, and I don't focus on the past, and I keep moving forward, the more happy I'm going to be in my life, because I'm not going to look at particularly things that are keeping me away from what I want.
Yeah, with kind of a twist on that, would be
okay.
Certainly with regards to, non-attachment, right? So having an intent, right? This is my intention, but not getting too wedded to the outcomes and knowing that you're taking the right steps, right? Taking positive steps to get there. And not everything's necessarily going to go your way. But, certainly, if you don't do anything, you're definitely not going to get to where you want to go. And certainly
by making excuses, right, Mike? By making excuses, forget about it.
Oh yeah, it's as Jack Canfield says, it's all about taking 100% responsibility. 100% responsibility, and it's too easy to blame others for our misfortune, and it's really too easy to do that. And so, I can share an example for me. When I was growing up, I grew up with a hearing loss, significant hearing loss, and 40% in each ear. And, when I was a kid, I had a hearing aid, but I didn't want to wear it conscious, because I felt I wouldn't fit in. And so I just, I suffered. I missed out on some things. And, I remember being in the back seat of a car on a Friday night with a friend of mine and a couple of his friends, and there were some people in the front seat who, said something to me, and I'm like, I don't know. I didn't quite hear what they said. I was just kind of trying to brush it off. They said, "You don't know your name?" I was mortified. And, it wasn't until I was a sophomore in college when I was in this philosophy class of over 200 people. And I just came back from that class, huge lecture hall. I was so frustrated because I love to learn and I wasn't really getting everything. I wasn't able to hear it. And so I could have let that stop me. And at that point I decided, screw it. I went out and got some, hearing it. I said, no, I'm just going to commit to it and wear them all the time. And my quality of life improved. And I could have let that stop me. And I knew I had a passion for helping others reach their potential or doing something around helping people. And so I remember my first class that I taught. It was in grad school. It was a Psychology 101 class. I was teaching it one day a week. And I was terrified going in. Again, I was terrified because I was like, well, what if I can't understand the questions they ask? Or what if I don't hear their answers to my questions well? And, again, it's kind of, I had a compelling vision and such a strong purpose that it overtook the fears I had. It overwhelmed the fears. It was much stronger than that and allowed me to still move forward, even though there were obstacles along the way. It wasn't easy by any means, but, that's part of understanding yourself, understanding what you want and what you need, and no excuses, as you were saying. No excuses.
Never have those excuses. So this woman you talked about in the scenario, doesn't look like she clarified that purpose, did she, Mike?
She did clarify her purpose. And then after she turned down that one opportunity, because it was due to her fears, we worked with her fears, right? What was getting in the way? And eventually she was able to, she moved on within the company to another position, and was much happier. Checked in with her periodically over time. And so she's much happier now, and the company benefits too, because she had talents that she wasn't using in her original job. The job didn't really call for it, but she had some of the background. So it was a win-win. It's a win-win, but it wasn't a direct line. It wasn't a direct line to get there. And so sometimes we have to take a circuitous route, or tacking back and forth.
Yeah, it's definitely it's that thing. So once you eliminate those fears and you clarify your purpose, you have to do a preparation. Now you prepare yourself, right? You come up with you have to prepare. Once you have that purpose and your fears are out of your way now, you have to prepare. You can't not plan where you're going in life. You can't just decide, today I'm doing this and tomorrow I'm going to do this. people who are focused and driven and have a purpose and have a plan are successful in life.
Well, exactly. So, a big part of it is kind of assessing yourself, knowing yourself, identifying, what actions, preparing for what you want, identifying, kind of analyzing your situation, what's required, what actions are going to be needed, and then ultimately, ideally, attracting what it is you want, becoming a magnet for that, right? You're putting it out there to others. This is what I want, and you start to kind of live into your future that way, and people can show up basically and start helping you because you're putting it out there. This is my vision. This is what I'm trying to do, and so yeah, there's definitely preparation. Preparation meets opportunity. Along those lines. So that's where good fortune often comes in.
Good fortune, and we'll go on from there. And then once you have all that together, you can't. There's more to it, right, Mike? You have all these things in place, but the problem is then life's going to get in the way, right? You're going to have a purpose, you're going to have a passion, you're going to be prepared, you know where to go, and then guess what happens? You run into the wall. The wall hits.
Yeah, so life
into this. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you handle it when life gets in the way? Having that ability that confidence, ultimately to say, you know what, when life gets in the way, I'll handle it. And we can't always worry about all the things that are going to happen. There's bad things that happen all the time and, may set us back for a while. And again, it's kind of just being with that and working through it. Sometimes things don't come out. When I was in junior high, middle school, I wanted to be an astronomer. that was one of my dreams. And after doing this career report, I discovered it wasn't for me. I discovered you had to be like a Carl Sagan, to make money. I discovered, he had his own show about the cosmos. He had to he had pretty much worked at universities. I'm like, I don't want to work at a school. When I finish high school or college, I want to be done with it. He had to know something called physics. Like, oh my gosh, So it wasn't what I thought it was so much, and some things aren't always the way you think they are. But I was so grateful I did that report because I found kind of a new passion, and I discovered it was really around helping people, and the astronomy became more of a hobby for me. And so it's the same thing with other obstacles that might be more significant ones. There's plenty of examples of people out there who do amazing things in spite of obstacles. It's just a matter of holding on to that vision of yours and or creating a new one if you need to and working through it.
Definitely. Okay, so we're going to be talking to Mike Gellman, life coach and author of Pipe Dreams, 7 Pipelines of Career Success. He discusses the essentials for success, and I think that also, if I would decide some of the way I make money, Mike, is not the most glamorous thing in the world, okay? But I have other things around that makes it very interesting and fun for me. So if I don't have certain preferences and interests, at least I understand at times we're going to have to dig on deep and figure out how we're going to make our money. But you have to make it interesting. Because that's the thing. A lot of times people complain about not having preferences and interests in what kind of job they choose, or what kind of life they want. So you need to identify those as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if there's things that we're not, in terms of preferences or things of that nature that we want and we don't have it in our job, think about how can you build that in? How can you build in more of that activity in your current job? Or there's opportunities or, in general, outside of work. So for me, one of my preferences was, for example, supporting different causes, charitable causes. And so I was in the nonprofit field and I moved to a more corporate environment. I knew when I made that switch that, one of my needs would go potentially unmet. But I also knew that I could fill that by just volunteering more outside of work. And the company that I worked for did a lot of philanthropy. So I got involved with that and started, doing some giving out grants to nonprofits. And so, again, it's creating those opportunities for yourself, but you have to know what they are.
Oh, right. Well, that's the interesting thing. And I love the point you said, Mike, about when I gave up professional wrestling, when I finally finished my career in pro wrestling, when I said, okay, I'm going to have a family, I need to focus on getting a real career started. I have I need to finish up my college degree and then go into grad school and have a purpose and focus in my dreams. I made a mistake in eliminating something that I really enjoyed, which is entertainment, and didn't know exactly what my career focus was, where I was going, Mike. So that's what made it the hardest part of it, that there was something missing when I was teaching before I started my radio show and television show. There was something missing when I was in a classroom with four walls that I didn't have when I was finding myself through professional wrestling. So once I put those things into place and put my daily life as an entrepreneur and stopped working for other people, life completely changed for me in my flow and my ability to do things. So that's what you do, is kind of discover those things for people, Mike. So where's the best place we can find information on you, purchase your book, and learn more about you? Where can we go?
So there's a few places. They can, first of all, go to MikeGellman.com. Mike Gellman, GELLMAN.com is one place, my website. They can get more information about me. I also have a Facebook author page as well. So if they want to buy the book, there's a button. There's ways to buy my book on Amazon or on my website. So Pipe Dreams, 7 Pipelines to Career Success. I have a Facebook author page where I post some Periscope videos. I just started doing them recently, so some free advice, and you can interact, ask questions, and things of that nature. And I have, some blogging, and you can ask questions on the Facebook author page. So it's facebook.com/7 pipelines. So facebook.com 7 pipelines. Great resource. Just like the page, and then you'll get notified of any new things that I post on there.
All right, well, Mike, thanks for calling. Best of luck, and thanks for coming on the show.
Great. Thanks, Neil.
Take care. All right, that was Author's Corner, everyone. Take care, everyone.
Make Valentine's Day extra special with a visit to your friendly neighborhood Bonds and Pavilions. You'll love saving big on food that's just better, fresher, sweeter. For special dinners, stop by the meat department and pick up fresh USDA Choice New York strip steak, bone-in, for only $4.88 a pound when you shop with your club card. And get a sweet deal on a 3-pound bag of local Halos tangerines, just $2.99 each with your club card. Fresher meats, tastier meals, sweeter savings. Bonds and Pavilions, it's just better. Just better. Just better. Just better.